Incoming email.
What you want to know?
Craig's Corner. Hey, welcome to Craig's Corner for Friday, August 17th, 2012. Today's question comes in from Brian, and he wanted to know whether or not you can use 2 mic inputs or more on a TC-Helicon device. The answer is no, with some maybes thrown in there. No, in terms of that we don't produce any devices that have multiple mic inputs. They're all meant for one single mic input. What you can do, if you're savvy and you know how to do multiple aux sends via a mixing board, is you could send multiple auxes to a single mic input that goes into the device that you're using, and then you could process things from there and return that aux send to the board, either to the aux returns or maybe to 2 other channels on the board panned in stereo, and handle multiple voices. So you just turn up the auxes on each of the channels that you'd like to send information from. The caveats come in processing the various effects. You want to process a reverb? No problem. You're putting all of those voices into the same physical space. It's no big deal. Delays, sometimes if you've got a multi-tap situation going on, the taps could get really crazy when it's trying to trigger off of multiple voices, so that could be a bit strange. Micromod, like flanging and chorusing and stuff, it would just process that on each of the voices, so that would work really well. You could do transducer effects, where you're making everybody sound like they're singing through a megaphone or an old radio, that kind of thing. When you get into harmonies, we're looking for one voice that then has a harmony above it or a harmony below it. When you start getting 3 voices, it goes, well, which voice is it that I'm supposed to try and harmonize to? And it'll get really, really wonky. So you want to stay away from harmonies. Doubling, because we use shifting and time modulation in that, you may or may not have success with it. I would try it and see how it sounds to you. It's going to depend on how sort of overlapping all the voices are, and whether or not the octaves and the shifts that get put into that doubling sound reasonable or not. But yeah, definitely harmonies are not going to work. Some of the other, like hard tune, you can give it a shot. It'll likely work because it's just going to be pitching all the notes it hears coming in, but it may get a little bit weird if you've got 2 notes. Like if you're singing a harmony yourself, the hard tune isn't going to know what to do with it. If you were singing unison, it might try and correct both those voices, and you might get a little bit of strangeness there. So it's definitely a bit of an experimental type situation. It's about all I can give you in terms of multiple mic inputs. It's certainly something that in the future we'd be interested in developing in terms of products, something that takes multiple inputs and does something to them. We're not entirely sure what that's going to look like or when it might come out, but sometime in the next, say, 50 years, we will put out an unspecified device that does unspecified things. So there you go. Hope that answers your question, Brian, and look forward to getting some more questions in from you guys sometime soon.